Hi everybody and welcome to Des and Lauren, and today we'll be discussing a mystery that is still unsolved.
A 40-year-old mystery, and many people's imaginations were grabbed in last year when a series came out called Vatican Girl. And I know many of you on this channel are fixated on things that have happened at the Vatican. Lots of conspiracy theories crop up around the Vatican, and as you know, I have mentioned before that all the popes have served as members on the committee of 300. So a lot of people believe that the world is run from the Vatican, but that couldn't be further from the truth. But let's get stuck into this mystery of 40 years.
A Vatican prosecutor said on Thursday he had uncovered new leads worthy of further investigation into the disappearance of a Vatican schoolgirl who had vanished 40 years ago. To be clear, there were two schoolgirls that vanished within close period of time. Emanuela Orlandi, the daughter of a Vatican usher, failed to return home on the 22nd of June 1983. Following a music lesson in Rome, she was 15 at the time and lived inside the Vatican City. Her disappearance is one of Italy's most enduring mysteries. I would love to know if you've seen the series on Netflix, so just say in the comments if you've seen Vatican Girl. If you have Netflix, I'd recommend watching it. It's fascinating. The case drew fresh worldwide attention following the release late last year of the Netflix series Vatican Girl. Vatican Chief Prosecutor Alessandro Diddi announced in January that he was reopening a previous inconclusive Vatican investigation after he inherited files from his retired predecessor.
Sometimes it takes for someone to retire for something new to come to the fore, right?
For a case to progress. Yes. On Thursday, he said his team had reviewed all the available evidence and spoken to people who had worked in certain offices 4 decades ago, confirming certain lines of inquiry worthy of further investigation. He said in a statement that he had recently handed over his findings to Italian prosecutors so they could decide what best to do. The Vatican said Diddi would continue to pursue the case and was aware of the family's long-standing suffering. So the family hasn't got closure. Interestingly,
with many speculations, conspiracy
years
theories.
and years went by, and the brother of this girl that went missing, all he wanted to do was meet with the Pope, and he managed to meet the Pope while the Pope was appearing in the city, just shaking hands with people. And the Pope, according to him, the Pope shook his hand, leant in and whispered to him something like say goodbye, or trying to give him finality without actually admitting to anything. Pope Francis publicly criticized Orlandi's brother in April after he played an audio tape on national television from an alleged gangster who said girls were brought into the Vatican to be molested, and that the Pope at the time, John Paul II, knew about it. The brother, Pietro Orlandi, said on Thursday he would stage a protest in St. Peter's Square on Sunday when Francis gives his weekly blessing to the faithful. I told everyone to bring a photo of Emanuela, he told RAI Radio. I'm doing it because I really hope that the Pope can say some words of hope. Theories about Orlandi's disappearance have run the gamut from speculation it was linked to a plot to kill Pope John Paul, to suggestions that she was kidnapped by the Rome underworld, to accusations she was a victim of a priestly pedophile group.
And it's actually fascinating because the story on Netflix looks into the many different avenues. There's lots of different visual accounts of what people saw, people that have come to the fore, said they were involved, said that she has been pulled into various things in the underworld. And some of these people were said to just be attention seekers, etc. But what do you think happened, and what do you think is going to come out?
Especially if you've watched the series, I'd love to hear your theories. Please put it in the comments what you think happened. And I think it's always a tragedy when someone goes missing and the family never ever got closure, and that must be the worst thing. You don't know if they're out there suffering, you don't know if they're out there with a new identity, you don't know what's happening. All you know is that the person you love the most is not with you. And I don't know how parents especially live when that happens to their children.
It must be extremely difficult. Closure, I think, is super important for anyone to move on, and this family hasn't been allowed to move on. And it's not just that she just vanished and there was nothing more. There's lots of people
Interesting
that said many things. Very interesting.
There was a revolution happening, I think, in Poland at the time, and the Pope at the time was in talks with Poland. Was it Poland? It was
Correct.
Poland, about takeover of power, and I found it very fascinating. So I actually have my own theory. I believe that both the girls were recruited as spies, as secret agents, and sent to Poland, perhaps, to do some work.
Well, he was from Poland.
The Pope itself, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a very fascinating history.
It is interesting
And
indeed.
So what makes me think that is how the one girl, Emanuela, went missing. She came back from a music lesson. She went upstairs to her flat. One of her relatives, I think her brother, was there. Oh, she was going to leave for a music lesson, not come back. And yeah, she just vanished. Someone did phone, and then she ended up speaking briefly with her family when she went missing. And I think that was like her goodbye. It wasn't an official, Mom, Dad, I'm going because I have to. I've been recruited by the Vatican spy unit. Sorry, bye. She couldn't say that, but she could have a few words on the phone with them.
But there was also a time when the Pope actually visited them in their home, and also again said something to her father that also showed that he knows something that he's not coming forward with. There was definitely some guilt there.
So we don't know exactly the work her father did in the Vatican. So there's a lot of things that the viewer is not privy to, a lot of information, which makes it difficult to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. Either way, I hope this mystery gets solved. A mystery unsolved creates imbalances in the universe because one needs truth out there. And the Vatican is obviously, since forever, has been a hotspot of secrecy, of withholding truth from the public.
Deliberately withholding truth and practicing like a secret organization. It's a country within a country, so they have very specific laws within that country, and the fact that she vanished from within the Vatican created a huge problem, of course. So a fascinating story, the fact that someone disappeared from inside the Vatican, or that lived inside the Vatican, disappeared. And this has obviously stayed with the Catholic Church for a very, very long time, and it's something that they can't get rid of. And her brother obviously is not giving up. He's carrying on, and now he's organizing a protest.
I completely can understand that. I also would never give up. So let's see where this goes, and we'll definitely speak about it some more as more news gets uncovered. We'd love to hear your theories on what happened. Obviously, they're just theories. We're not investigators. But I'd also love to hear what mysteries you have heard about that have not been solved yet. Love a mystery. There's nothing better than sinking one's teeth into a juicy mystery. What do you think?
Not me. I just like facts. I don't like fiction. I like to stick to things that's visible, tangible, etc. But a mind like yours, certainly absolutely necessary. And one does need to look at things with skepticism. And if you combine the two types of thinking, I think it's a better way of finding truth at the end of the day.
Well, let's see what else we can bring from the Vatican in the future.
Thank you so much for watching, and just remember, this channel is absolutely about our preservation of freedom, and you can tell us in the comments how you think that an organization like the Catholic Church that has a country within a country have their own rules that they live by, how that influences Italy as a country, and whether you think there's other organizations like that in the world.
Yeah, looking forward to hearing all of these comments, and we'll report back soon.